So, you're using VideoScribe, and you're already making some pretty cool animations. But today, we're going to kick things up a notch. We're moving beyond the default settings to unlock the tools you need to make your animations truly custom, polished, and, well, uniquely yours.
You ever finish a project, look back at it, and just think, it looks a little generic? You know, kind of like every other whiteboard video out there. If that feeling sounds familiar, don't worry. You're in exactly the right place, because we're about to fix that.
All right, first things first, let's start with the biggest piece of real estate on the screen, the canvas itself. And then we'll look at the style of the hand that's bringing your whole story to life.
Okay, first up is the background. Now, the clean white default is great, but you are not stuck with it. A quick trip over to background options lets you swap in all sorts of different textures, or you can pick any solid color you want to perfectly match your brand or the vibe of your video.
But, and this is a big but, there's a little trade-off you need to know about. A custom color background makes your video stand out, for sure, but it has one major catch. If your image isn't a transparent PNG file, you're going to get this ugly, clunky white box around it. So, pro tip, if you go for a colored background, make sure your images are transparent. It's a lifesaver.
Next, let's talk about the drawing hand. The default one is fine, but you can create a completely different vibe just by changing it. All you do is click an element, pop into its properties, and under Drawing Hand, you can pick from different hands, pens, crayons, or you can even choose no hand for this really clean, kind of magical drawing effect.
So, your canvas is looking great. Now let's talk about flow. Controlling the rhythm and the timing of your animation, that's the next huge step to making it look really professional.
You know, this might be one of the easiest but most powerful features in the whole program. That timeline down at the bottom of the screen, it shows every single thing in your animation. If you don't like the order, you just click, drag, and drop it somewhere else. It is that simple to completely change the sequence of your story.
Okay, to get that pacing just right, you need to become friends with these three settings. Animate is simply the drawing speed. Pause is how long the camera chills out after something is drawn, and transition is the time it takes for the camera to swoop over to the next thing. Getting these three to work together, that is the secret to perfect pacing.
Feeling a little overwhelmed by all those timing options? I get it. Here's a great little rule of thumb. Start with your animate time at 2 seconds. Generally, anywhere from 1 to 3 seconds is the sweet spot. It's fast enough to keep things moving, but slow enough so your audience can actually see what's being drawn.
All right, we have totally nailed the timing. But here's the thing. Your objects don't just have to be drawn onto the screen. You can make them show up in much more dynamic and interesting ways.
So back in this element properties, instead of draw, try checking out the other options. Fade in is awesome for a soft, subtle kind of reveal. But if you want some real energy, move in is going to be your best friend. It lets you slide things onto the canvas from literally any direction you want.
And Move In has its own set of personalities. Smooth is your standard, clean, professional slide. Overshoot is really fun. It adds a playful touch where the object slides a little too far and then zips back into place. And Bounce, which might be my favorite, is perfect for objects coming in from the top. It gives them a real sense of weight, like they've just been dropped.
Okay, get ready. We're about to cover a technique that will instantly make your animations look and feel so much more professional. We're talking about making one object seamlessly transform into another.
So what is morphing? It's this super powerful visual effect, where instead of one image just disappearing and another one popping up, the first image literally reshapes itself into the second one. It's an absolutely incredible tool for showing an evolution or a connection between two different ideas.
And the best part? It's surprisingly simple to set up. First, you just put your two images on the canvas. Then, and listen up, this is the most important part, you select the second image, go into its properties, and choose Morph as the animation type. The final step is just to tell VideoScribe which image to morph from, and that's it. So why bother with all that? Because what you get is this beautiful, fluid, and totally professional transition. It helps you avoid that amateur look of images just awkwardly popping up on top of each other. It just makes your whole story flow so much better.
Now for our final technique. This is a really fantastic newer feature in VideoScribe that lets you take those built-in library images and make them completely your own.
So when you're digging through the image library, keep your eyes peeled for assets that have these little red, green, and blue marks on the thumbnail. That's your secret signal. It means that image is customizable. When you go into its properties, you'll find a full color palette to change its entire look. And this is exactly why it's such a game changer. You can take a stock image that thousands of other people are using, change the colors to match your own brand, and bam, all of a sudden it's a unique asset. It's a fantastic way to make sure your video doesn't look like anyone else's.
So let's do a super quick recap. You now have a full toolkit to take complete control of your animations. We're talking customizing the entire canvas and drawing style, mastering the flow and timing, and applying awesome effects like move in, morph, and custom coloring. With all these new tools at your fingertips, there's really only one question left. Which one are you going to try first? Are you going to go for a dynamic bounce entrance, or maybe that super seamless morph transition? Go ahead, open up a project, and just start playing around.